How would it feel to have a thriving fitness business and have the freedom to enjoy life at the fullest? Well, that is exactly what the Trainer Revenue Multiplier show is going to give you. My name is Mathew Park. This is Jaime Filer.
Hey guys.
And we are here to serve.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Trainer Revenue Multiplier show. I'm your co-host today with my other co-host, Mathew Park. How are you doing, friend?
You know, I get to hang with you, Jaime. So this is going to be a great, fun episode. We get to bounce off each other, have fun together as we always do. So I am excited to be here, Jaime.
Love it. Absolutely love it. This is pretty much we spent the last hour and a half together. We had an absolutely killer group coaching call. We just talked offline about how the leaders are leveling up. I mean, any one of the pieces of wisdom that the leaders shared could be their own platinum presentation.
I agree, Jaime.
Yeah. But we have our own topic for today, and it's one that's literally close to both of our hearts because it's about family and business. And I would love for you to kind of explain a little bit more.
You know, it's awesome, Jaime, because I think we both have grown so much in the last 5 or 6 years, you know, as human beings, as entrepreneurs, as involved in TRM, with our families, with you and Katie, with me and Genevieve. And it's nice because you guys are going to learn today on the podcast from 2 different perspectives of how we both integrate a thriving business, family life, personal life, you know, from Katie and Jaime, and they have like amazing furry family friends in their family, which is a lot of you guys out there have that lifestyle with amazing animals, right? Mike has like 6, 7 dogs. You got like 5, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And then my side is more a wife and kids. So we get to talk about 2 different angles to help you guys share how you can build a business, but still have a great thriving family life and personal life as well too.
Yep. That's what we're here for. So let's dive into, I guess, the first, how you learned, Mathew, right? Like, because we all kind of have to hit rock bottom, or like we all have to hit a wall, right? It doesn't have to be rock bottom, but we have to, or even the first time you got in trouble, maybe for not prioritizing. I would just love to hear your story in general about why this is important to you.
Okay, so I'm going to go 2 angles. First, that was awesome, Jaime. Thank you for sharing that. Growing up, I was trained on the farm to work 24/7. Like, I know it sounds like a drill sergeant, but it actually is true. And nobody valued vacation. Nobody valued a day off. If you took a day off, you were lazy. Why are you taking a day off? Get back to the farm, work on the cows, keep work on the farm. So in my brain, I was trained mentally to just do the work, right? I never took a vacation all my teenage years. It was just working and maybe playing some sports here and there on the farm. So that was my life. And I took that to personal training as a trainer, which I worked around the clock, 7 days a week, even Sundays, to build it to 6 figures, right? And then I met Genevieve at 23 years old. And she actually, funny enough, and it's only because I was forced to do so, Jaime, because she lived in Montreal, I forced myself to take 5 days off to go see her because I had to, because I was on a plane. Then I come back and it's 3 more months of just 7 days a week. So I did this rotation. Then I stopped personal training and went all into a beverage company and INBF Canada. And I burned out the first time to the point where it was literally in my condo. It's 27 years old, and my jaw swelled up so much I couldn't even open my mouth. In fact, I actually fainted, and I got up and called my mom and says, "Mom, I think I can't move my mouth. Like I was talking on the phone, I can talk on my phone on the mouth." And she's like, "I'll come over and see you." And it got worse to the point where it was like swelling all over the place. Went to the hospital. And actually got some IVs. And that was my first scare of like 27-year-old guy who's never done anything bad, but from stress, all from stress. And I was like, this is ridiculous. This is terrible. So that was my first painful experience, Jaime, I went through. And then, you know, I've known you now for almost 7 years, Jaime. And you've seen a couple times in TRM, even the first few years, I was burning out. You know this, right? And you were always amazing because you're always so supportive. But I had to learn through literally forcing myself to take a hotel night.
Yeah.
Right. Or then saying, babe, what in the hell are you doing? Excuse my French. Like, take time off. I couldn't. I was so, I didn't work. I wasn't going to make it, I wasn't going to take care of my family. So now, of course, that was my experiences there. That's kind of where it took me to where I am today, and where I always say my kids were my blessing, because my first Lily was the first time that again, kind of forced me to learn to take time off, but I was still thinking of work.
Right.
And Jimmy came along, and then it was even better. But now I'm in the Caymans, and because I always pushed myself into the uncomfortable to take the next level. And I've finally started to crack some of this realization. Just took me how many years to figure it out. So that's a long-winded story, Jaime, but I appreciate you hearing that, to kind of share the vulnerability to our members who might be realizing some of those things. So, but actually would love to hear your side of all this, Jaime, on your angle, if you don't mind sharing.
So my rock bottom, it was in 2021. You and I started together. My first TRM was January of 2019, and I was really fun and excited and eager to learn everything and do everything. And you had taken me from like 1,500 a month to 15,000 a month in my first year. And it just kept growing and growing and growing. And then 2020 hit, and we launched TRM, virtual TRM. Yep. I totally forgot what it's called now. And I was a mentor at that point, but I also realized just how saturated the online market had gone. Because before, it was almost optional to be an online coach. But in 2020, if you wanted to still be a trainer or coach, you had to go online. So although I was coaching it and kind of maintaining this aura of confidence and poise, I was like, oh my God, we're graduating so many of these incredible trainers in TRM. All of these people are now my competition. So it really reached a peak for me in 2021, when even more people, even the ones we weren't coaching, just like everyone was going online, that I'd stop sleeping for a couple nights at a time, and my appetite was completely declining, and I was on my phone 24/7, even if I was training, right before bed, first thing in the morning when I woke up. And it was a miserable year for me. My anxiety was at an all-time high, and it affected me physically, emotionally, and spiritually.
Wow, Jaime.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I never knew till even now. I'm so grateful you shared this.
Well, of course, because I'm the mentor. I had to be, right? I had to keep it together. But no, that's definitely where I was in 2021.
Those listening, guys, I have a new respect for Jaime right now. I respect you actually more, because you just shared that. Like, I think it's so cool to hear the mentor just shared a vulnerability, because it actually makes you, to me, it makes you look stronger.
Thank you.
I think you look braver. I think you're stronger. I think you're just more beautiful as a human being, because you show this beautiful side of you that happened, right?
I appreciate that, Mathew. So let's talk, because you were 27, couldn't speak, got your mom worried, got your wife worried. You had your first kid. You knew you could not continue life like that, but you were also starting TRM. So what was the plan? How did you fill in the gap and dig the hole so that you were no longer at the bottom of it, but rather that you had risen above it?
Oh, Jaime, that's such a good question. Thank you. I had to start from scratch again. So my goal at 30 years old was to make $1 million by 30. I didn't do that. In fact, at 30, I was in the negative. Most don't even know that. I was all this success in my mid 20s. It was like I was reaching it, like RE7 was taken off, PT was in 6 figures, INBF was, but all of a sudden I quit that all to go into this company, and I put all my savings into this thing.
Yeah.
And it was doing okay, but we needed more capital to like get everything going, like, inventory. And I used everything I had. I even put on this over here, and we had more coming in. And that's where the stress came from. I'm like, oh my gosh, all these things on my back I got to carry. So I was balancing the federation. I was balancing this over here. I was balancing three companies at once. And then I hit rock bottom. I was like, this was a big step for me at 30 years old. What the hell's going on? So now I learned through what I call university. And I was like, this is going to change now. So that's when I moved to Montreal. I drove in a car, 4,000 miles across the country. I let some stuff go, made room for getting that weight off my back, and redefined who I want to be. one thing, one focus. And it took me years, Jaime, to get back to where I needed to be. Like I had to work through trauma, and I'm sure we both have, I had to work through, and I'll be very open on this call, guys. I've done psychedelics myself to improve things. I'll be very open about that. Most don't even realize those things because I need help, and I wanted to because I knew I wanted this version, my vision board vision of Mathew Park, but I was still working through stuff, right? So as I was letting these things go, moving into who I wanted to be, Super League came around, right? I dove all into Super League, right? And you know me, I'm obsessive. I go right into Super League, I bring it to Montreal. You won the darn thing, Jaime. You were the champion with Ryan. And all of a sudden, my coaching company went down because I forgot about my coaching company. I was like, oh my God, what about the coaching? So came back, and that's when I started TRM. Because I literally was so booked with clients before Super League. Then because I forgot about the coaching and went into Super League, my mind went in two different directions. I had to restart again. And then TRM took off. So I know that's a story I've never shared till now, but I wanted to open that up. So yeah.
Okay. So that's kind of your second phase.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So second phase for me, probably 2021 through 2023, partially through 2022, maybe. No, 2023. I realized I had to get a handle on my anxiety because, as TRM taught me, I had to niche down in my audience. So I had chosen the LGBTQ community who struggled with their mental health. And who was I to be a leader for my community if I couldn't get the junk in my brain under control? It just felt so incongruent and inauthentic to sell a program until I was, we'll call it, healed. And not that anyone is ever fully healed, but I definitely needed to be more healed than I was. So I started using all of the tactics and strategies and tools and resources that I was giving to my clients. And probably Q4 of 2021, that was when we officially launched the Inner Outer Strength program, because I was finally in a really good place with my mental health that I felt good enough to say, hey, here's how I did it. Now let's teach you how to do it. So that was, end of 2021, revised it through 2022. Now, from a business perspective, I had a roster of about 120 clients. Some of them were getting weekly check-ins with a template-based training and nutrition program. Some were getting customized training and nutrition, and then others were getting customized training and nutrition with a 15-minute phone call every week. So I had 3 different tiers. Yeah. So I had, I would say about 50 people, 50 to 75 people at any given time in the silver program, 30 to 50 in the gold, and then 15 to 20 in platinum. Wow. And it was, so business had taken off, but now I had another anxiety because I was doing well. And what do you do with that?
Oh so my God.
That brought us to mid 2022. So Mathew, what's phase 3? You were doing Super League, you were coming out of it. Yeah. Coaching business wasn't going well.
So before Super League, it was actually going really well. And then I built that up over 2-3 years, and it was just me doing coaching. Right. And then I was like, oh, it's going so I'll do Super League now. Right. So I forgot about the coaching for a whole year. And then I was down to maybe 15, 20 clients. I was at 40 or 50. Yeah. So I knew how to get clients and grow. That was no problem for me. I've done that 3 or 4 times. So it was a new evolution of okay, now TRM. So it's funny. I was on a call with, this is actually, nobody knows this. I was on a call with John Benson, the marketer, right?
Copywriter. Yeah.
Good friend for 10 years. And we all met through fitness. It wasn't through copywriting. It was just through fitness and just mutual connections. He's like, Maddie, he's like, yeah, so what's your next curve on the coaching, buddy? I was like, I had a question for you, John. Can I ask you a question? Yeah, go ahead, buddy. So I want to get my coaching revamped again, thinking of a name. And he's like, well, have you thought about trainer, coaching, fitness? So we thought of Trainer Revenue Multiplier on the call with him.
Wow.
And I was like, oh my gosh, that's where it's at. So I literally after the call it was like execution, right? Let's get our first group of 8, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And that's when phase 3 came for me. Was I took all the tools of 15 years, well, not 15, probably 13, 12, 14, something like that, of like what went good, what didn't go well, where I failed, where I learned. And that was to me the university book that you just can't pay for, you have to go through in life. So I took the university book and applied that to how we can grow successful coaches.
Mhm.
Don't do this, focus on this, don't do this, focus on that. And that's where TM started, and honestly, Jaime, when you came in, I think it was, what was it, group 2 or group 3?
Yeah, I think 3 or 4. Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
friends first for Super League because you were crushing in Super League. And I remember the first time you told me what you charged, but you were this powerhouse. You were this editor of this, chief editor of this magazine. You were a big name, and you still are a big name. Don't get me wrong. But at the time, I was like, wait a second, this woman isn't making more than that, and she's this hot ticket, in the marketplace.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I love to help. I'm sure you're the same as me. We both love to help people. So I wanted to see you win, so I really wanted to, when you came in and we were like you were kind of in the first phase of when I was getting TRM going.
Yeah.
And it was so gratifying to see TRM grow, Jaime Fowler grow, our clients grow, to where we are now, which is, I know, maybe a phase 4, but that's kind of what phase 3 was for me.
I love it. Okay. So my phase 3, I mean, it was pretty recent. It was February of 2023. I gave Katie, my wife, an offer letter for Valentine's Day to work for Filer Fitness and quit her job full time.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So good. I remember you actually remember that day, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had already gone down. I mean, at that point I was at about 100 clients. Katie was sitting at 20 because she was coaching part-time and working at the hospital part-time. And she said, you know what, I'm overwhelmed. I don't like it. Our quality time included bringing out our laptops and sitting on the couch together. And neither of us enjoyed that. So finally I said, okay, I mean, the leads are coming in. I'm not concerned. I know you're a hustler. So I said, let's just bring you on the team full time. She filled herself up by May. So we hired another assistant coach in May. And at that point, I'd just given up control, right? It was like a let go and let God. I realized that maybe I was never going to be the best coach for all clients on my team. And why not leverage the power of collaboration? And I mean, we presented an offer letter to another coach this past week because we just keep growing. So finally, the anxiety, the need for control over every aspect of my business, thinking that I am the best person to handle all aspects of my business, is no longer there. And that was essentially my phase 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, Jaime. That was actually exactly a year ago for you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, in 2 weeks. Yeah. Katie will have worked. Yeah. Just don't tell her because she's going to ask for a raise or a bonus. So let's pivot a little bit with the last few minutes we have, because we've talked a lot about the phases of our life where essentially family and business didn't coexist.
No.
We prioritized business.
Yeah.
But now we're both in a phase where we are killing it on both fronts. Our wives are happy, our little ones are happy, and our businesses are genuinely doing well. So Mathew, what does it take?
Oh man, that's such a good question, Jaime. Stepping in who you want to be. And when I say stepping in, I wasn't fully stepping in with 2 feet. I'll be very transparent. Yeah. I did, and you've probably seen this in me, Jaime. Recently, I've stepped 2 feet in, and there ain't no going back. So I'm like, when you step with 2 feet, and there are peaks and valleys, you're going to have to deal with them. But when the valleys come, you work through them. As Tanny says, work through the mud. I like that quote from her. Yeah. But the same thing too is when I see you succeed, Jaime, it inspires me. When I see someone like others in our team succeed, it inspires me. But when I see my children, this one hit me hard. 2 months ago, I was going to the gym to work out at 5:30 p.m. Jimmy goes, "Daddy, let's go play." And I was like, "I gotta go work out, buddy." He looked at me, he's like, "I want to play." He was almost ready to cry. My heart ached for him. I was like, I should be playing with my son right now, you know? So I said, I'm training in the morning. Immediately says execution. Train to my routine. 8 o'clock in the morning is workout time. 5:30 is kids time. I don't waver. And now it's like, I have this time to work. I work, get my shit done. I have my time to work out in the morning. And now my kids' quality of life, Jaime, is like a 180 in the last like 2 or 3 months. I'm so proud. I'm grateful. And me and Genevieve, like we've connected at a deeper level than ever in the last few months. Like Kima was a lot for us. I'll be honest, as a family.
Yeah.
It taught us a lot as a family. So my phase 4, like I told you, this year is going to be a game changer for all of us, including your family, my family, our team, our collection. And I told you the goal that I want to do for us at the end of the year. I'm not going to say it on the podcast. I'm going to tell the leadership team that you hear this.
Yeah.
I have a goal that's going to be freaking awesome when we hit our goal. And I've never felt, but I felt you had to go through this phase to learn who I want to be now, to step in where I want us to go, and also give you responsibility more, give Isaac some, give our team some, so we can start to thrive.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, because when you're better in general, you're a better leader, you're a better coach, you're better everything, for sure. I
would love to hear yours, Jaime.
Yeah, so mine also very recently occurred, and I'm going to give credit to plant medicine as well. I finally got perspective. I was able to see our life through Katie's eyes and through the lens of what it looks like to be married to an entrepreneur, and it's lonely.
Wow.
I had spent 5 years, January marked my 5th year with TRM, building an absolutely incredible empire. I mean, we hit a 70K month in November, and that, like, mind blowing, right? So grateful. So the way I describe it is I have built this castle. I have an amazing life, but what I did was I put my queen in the castle all alone. While I'm just working. And that's number one, nowhere for a queen to be alone. And number two, what's the point of having a castle if all of your friends and family and loved ones can't enjoy it with you? Yeah.
Wow, Jaime, that's huge.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's huge.
So that's good.
No, I'm so grateful for you. You have no idea. Like, sharing that, again, another level of respect higher for you right now. Like,
thank you.
That is just, this is what it's all about, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and there's no reason that I can't hit a 70K month and still close my laptop at 6 or 4:30 if I'm doing CrossFit, and not work on a Sunday and take, like, if someone cancels a sales call on Thursday, I don't have to rebook them for Sunday. I will still make the sale or not the following Thursday if it was meant to happen, but I get Sunday with Katie, and that's what matters.
Oh man. That's so beautiful. Like the evolution, Jaime, those stages of life you went through to where it is now.
You too.
You too. You know it.
Yeah.
I got literally, like, my body is covered in goosebumps from the vulnerability we've just shared, but also the beautiful things that have transpired to make us realize. Honestly, what you just shared there about the life, the lens of an entrepreneur, made me realize, well, shoot, what does Jen think?
Yeah.
Holy smokes, that's actually very, very interesting. Wow. Yeah, thank you.
Of course, of course. Well, certainly hope, I mean, though this turned into more of an autobiography from both of us, we really hope that you guys in podcast land could maybe relate to our stories, or similar to Mathew, that they give you perspective. Maybe you've not thought about how your kids feel when you go off to work or work out at 5:30, or maybe you've not thought about how your significant other feels when you take a sales call on a Sunday. You think, hey, like, what's the problem? I'm going to make $2,400 if they pay up front. Yeah, but that's an hour more you could have spent with your soulmate, you know?
Yeah.
Mathew, any final closing words?
Nothing, man. This is literally just like this. I'm soaking it all in.
Perfect. Well, everyone, if you liked what you heard, please make sure you rate, subscribe, share, tag us on social media. We are at Trainer Revenue Multiplier. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, wherever, friends. And until next time, have the best rest of your day. We'll catch you on the next episode.
Thanks, Jaime.